Welcome everyone to another episode of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host Sean Gann, alongside my partner Jack and Nicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you not had the chance, go check out our website justsayingfootball.com and follow us on Instagram at Just Saying No GWJS for article and video updates. Week 15 continues on Monday night, but we got a doubleheader. Huge COVID things again. I know we keep mentioning it in every single video, but COVID has been hitting the NFL. They moved the what was it? Supposed to be Saturday at 4 o'clock
Yeah.
between the Raiders and the Browns. Now moved to 5 p.m. today, Monday. Las Vegas Raiders heading to Cleveland, taking on the Browns. Now the Browns getting killed with COVID, as I just mentioned. There is going to be no Baker Mayfield, no Troy Hill, no Jarvis Landry, no Austin Hooper, no Jedrick Wills, no Case Keenum, no head coach Kevin Stefanski. They are rocking with Nick Mullins in this one. Jack, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's got to be, this is a tough break for the Browns, where they are right now, 7-6. They got a tough division. I look at it more as an opportunity for the Raiders right now, 6-7. Still looking to gain, some traction in the AFC playoff race right now. A couple of division losses this week, but it's crazy to think that the Browns have almost half their roster out. It's a huge adjustment for a team week by week to be able to game plan around this. Nick Mullins, thank God, has been on their practice squad the whole year, so there's not that transition to the playbook, but definitely an opportunity for the Raiders to take one on the road. Just being somewhat healthy, but still having no Darren Waller.
Yeah, no Darren Waller is difficult, but look, if they're able to get to 7-7, they're right back in the thick of the AFC West, which is crazy to think. Chiefs are beginning to pull away with a 10-4 record, and then you have the Chargers right there at 8-6, Broncos at 7-7. So they're sitting at 6-7 right now. A huge win against a team that is completely depleted with some of their best players in this one
Yeah.
is a great opportunity for you to kind of get it right and get back on track. We just saw them lose a pretty embarrassing game against KC last week. We thought it was going to be a little bit more of a fight. But with no Darren Waller, expect a lot more Josh Jacobs in this one. And of course, expect Hunter Renfro, who has
Yeah.
done amazing in the last 3 games, over 100 yards in each game, 8 receptions at least, going 8 for 134, 9 for 102, and 13 for 117 and one in that
Beautiful.
blowout loss to KC. So he's really stepping into his role right now as essentially the wide receiver one for this team. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one. And it mainly has to do with all the COVID cases going on with the Browns. They're not, the Browns are not the Browns right now. They're the Browns practice squad / starters in on this one. This is an opportunity for the Raiders that you definitely just need to win. We talk about these winnable games.
Yeah.
Cardinals didn't get it done this weekend against the Lions. Something to watch going forward with the playoffs, but definitely got to win this one through the Raiders.
Yeah, and no Kareem Hunt, as well, so it's gonna be big Nick Chubb day. Hopefully, he's able to get it done. Definitely always a bright spot. But no Jedrick Wills, no Wyatt Teller. You're out your top two linemen, you're out Austin Hooper, your best tight end, Jarvis, your best receiver, Baker, your quarterback. Not too well, and for them and the Raiders get it done well enough where they truly can win these winnable matchups. I think that, an injured Browns team right now, it's just not where this is a bad time in the season for them to get stuck in this.
Yeah, no, this late in the season with how close the AFC North is, you just really didn't want to be in this position. The North right now, Bengals 8-6, Ravens 8-6, Browns 7-6, and the Steelers 7-6-1. So if they're able to somehow pull it off tonight, they're technically tied for first in the AFC North, which is insane to think about. And then it's all going to come down to the division games. AFC North, we've been saying this for months. One of the
Yeah.
harder divisions. We knew it was going to be something like this. Just didn't expect it to happen in this fashion.
Yeah.
Moving on to our Monday night football game, and the only game of the week that matters to me, my Minnesota Vikings head to Chicago to take on the Bears. Bears, another team that are getting hit with COVID cases. Just to list off a few: quarterback Andy Dalton, CB Artie Burns, their offensive coordinator Bill Lazor, their special teams coordinator Chris Tabor, Deshaun Gibson, Eddie Jackson, Mario Edwards Jr., Allen Robinson, a whole host of their defensive starters and a handful of their offensive starters and a handful of their coaching staff
Yeah.
is out in this one to break down this game for us, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, and it's got to go what we talk about every week, the Vikings offense, how powerful they are. Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, even KJ Osborne in that last game on Thursday night. The Vikings have had a good amount of opportunity to prepare for this one coming off of that win against Pittsburgh, and pretty much, have a great offensive matchup, right now. The Bears, they've gotten Cousins in the past, he is, I'll let you talk a little more about that. But I mean, this is an opportunity for him to go get them. No Jalen Johnson, no Artie Burns, no Duke Shelley. A lot of, their secondary is now hurt. And when we've seen Minnesota go up against a weak secondary this year, you have to love what they do. I mean, Kirk Cousins playing cleaner ball than he has in the past. They are super confident just right now with all of this. But, the Bears, they still have a couple of things on the offense to love. Darnell Mooney, Montgomery, Justin Fields is going to have to develop in this one. So, I mean, how are you feeling as a Vikings fan going into this?
Feel weird about this one. There are things in our favor and things not in our favor. Justin Jefferson had 2 great games against them last year, going 8 for 104 and then 8 for 135. Mike Zimmer is 7-3 against rookie quarterbacks. We've been 7-1 since the start of the 2017 season. But the thing that worries me the most, Kirk Cousins is 1-5 against the Bears as a Minnesota Vikings. 67% completion, 1,190 yards, only 7-4 touchdown interception ratio, and he's 1-9 in Monday Night Football games, and his only one win came last year in Week 10 against the Bears in Chicago, which is funny how this is just basically, it all over again. I think for the Vikings right now, and it's the thing that I'm most worried about and what I'm going to be paying attention to most of this game, is the Montgomery versus our rush defense, because at the end of the day, our defensive rankings have not been good. 30th in total yard, 29th against the pass, 27th against the rush, and 25 in points. Not great. We're at the bottom end of everything, and the rushing yards giving up 129 yards. The Bears are running the ball pretty well offensively. They're currently 8th in rushing, going up for 126. And Montgomery last year in his lone game against the Vikings so far in his career rushed for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns on 32 carries. He absolutely demolished us. We'll have Dalvin Tomlinson in this one, and we'll have Michael Pierce. But if they're able to run the ball successfully, they'll find ways to make sure Mooney gets his fill and Graham gets his fill and Kmet gets his fill, to find ways to actually score against a pretty weak defense. There's going to be no Bashaud Breeland going forward. The Vikings released him on Saturday following a verbal altercation with the GM, the coaching staff, and the players. So Cam Dantzler is going to be stepping up big in this one. I'm a little bit worried. I'm going to go with the Vikings because they need to win this game if they want to stay in the playoff contention. But honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Kirk Cousins shit the bed and the Vikings just lose this one. We lost to the Lions earlier this year on a walk-off loss, and despite all the COVID cases, it could easily happen to us. We're just that kind of team.
Yeah, and you guys have been playing really tight this year. Coming out of the bye week in Week 7, you guys haven't had a game that was within, that was outside of one possession really since Week 3. You guys haven't had to play a game where it really doesn't come down to the wire. And what's crazy to me is really just how the Vikings have been able to step up. They know where they're at in the season right now. We were just talking about how it's such an impactful point of the season with the Browns. I think it's a great opportunity, though, for the Vikings. I mean, right now, they're the 4th best team when it comes to yards. I think they're going to just have a lot of opportunities in this game, but Montgomery, I think, will have a good game. Minnesota does rank a little bit lower than you'd expect against the rush right now, 27th. They're allowing the 25th most points, and, that's not what you want to see. It's it's up to us to, really be able to look at this game, see it as a divisional matchup, see it as an important part for the Vikings. And I think that Kirk actually does get it done in this game. But like you mentioned, a big point is with even all these injuries and the advantage here, can they step up to the moment? I think that they do.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You can never take a team lightly. Look at the Cardinals taking the Lions lightly this weekend. It was 17-0 at the halftime, and I was at work on set, and I'm looking at my phone going like, is this
real?
Is this real life? Is this really happening right now? Like 17-0, and they're not moving the ball, and they still won like 30-12. Like they just dominated that game for no reason. They're still in the playoff contention. They're 2-11, and their playoff hopes are still alive. So Vikings, I don't know. Just don't take the Bears lightly and get a win for me, or else the rest of my week going into Christmas is going to be terrible. And I'll be there in Minnesota this weekend. I'll actually be at the Rams-Vikings game next week, so stay tuned for some just Sean content from just saying at US Bank Stadium when the Minnesota Vikings host the Los Angeles Rams.
Love that, man. Gonna be a huge game.
Better win that one too.
Going up to Minnesota.
I'm 0-3 right now in live games, so let's get one, Minnesota. But that is all the time that we have. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys for checking us out. Check out these Monday games. It's going to be kind of a crazy one, but important parts of the season going down. Keep updated, justsayingfootball.com, Just Saying Football on YouTube, and Just Saying No GWJS on Instagram for all your video and article updates. Thank you guys for checking us out.
Enjoy.